London District Headquarters in Whitehall. Army catering boss Major Harry Lomas has called a meeting with his management team. As part of his constant mission to ensure standards, today's agenda is an inspection of Army-issue packed lunches prepared by his London District chefs.
All right, let's have a look.
What is this?
That's yours, sir.
This is a DIY sandwich.
Oh, DIY some.
But you'll notice there's no knife.
Is there no fucking knife?
I mean, that is inedible. That is stinking. I'd be quite annoyed if I got that in my pan meal. That's something to dip your bread in.
Absolutely. Bread and dripping.
That is the water from the tomato. In fact, there isn't a packed meal, is there?
No.
What's this one? Now, you see, this is why I get with them. You know, I mean, that is not a sandwich, is it?
No.
What's this? Spam and lettuce. Look at this one.
Is it gala spam?
No, it's
egg and ham without the egg.
egg and luncheon meat. One side is buttered, the other side isn't.
No.
For a man dedicated to quality fresh produce,
And this is what's actually going out today on a packed meal.
Yes.
an Army sandwich of processed cheese and processed ham is a major body blow.
I feel slightly embarrassed that that's going out
See, the
under
thing
our
is-
name. We're looking at standards, and this is not the standard that I'm happy with, and neither are my team, and it's about to be changed. But that's what our job is to keep on top of things like this. I can't wait to get out round the units and start kicking some arse.
Harry comes up with a battle plan to bring his chefs back into line.
I think we need to just touch base with the chefs, and I thought that with the 4 major units we've got, we could actually go back to the floor and therefore go and find out what's actually happening there. So if we all went back to the units as, let's say, shift NCO.
So you're managing the kitchen?
You're managing the kitchen, yeah.
Brilliant.
I really want to drum in the JSP and the recipe.
At Wellington Barracks, Major Lomas leads the charge.
Right, recipe book, armed, JSP 404, ready to rock and roll with the boys.
For the first time in 20 years, Harry dons his chef's whites and returns as kitchen manager. His mission? To get his chefs back to the basics of good old home cooking.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, good morning, gentlemen, ladies. You got a new shift NCO today, all right?
First up, a chef's inspection parade.
Hands, have you cleaned your nails?
Not yet, sir.
Why not?
I was a bit late this morning.
You was a bit late this morning. Right, well, we need to be a bit earlier.
Yes, sir.
What's your name? Private Davis. Correct, good morning. Nails? Is this a tutu or an apron?
It's an apron, sir.
Did you clean your fingernails?
Yes, sir.
You're my tomato soup man, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Good. Have we got soup on today? I'm sure we can get you onto it.
Stand out. Ease.
Today, the chefs are preparing a range of Army classics from corned beef hash to spag bol to feed 1,000 territorial Army troops.
Right, so pet it.
Harry will be looking to his chefs to cook as much fresh food as they can.
And all I'm doing is just taking them back to the first cooking principles of boiling, baking, stewing, rather than just getting things out of the freezer. The clue is in the name, chef. To have me here, I would imagine, will be a complete nightmare for them.
One person who knows what a nightmare it is to have Harry in the kitchen is Lance Corporal Gladstone Nelson. Harry has tasked him with making the tomato soup again.
Once bitten, twice shy.
But this time, 100 portions of the stuff.
There's no seasoning in there yet. So when I'm seasoning it, then I add a little sugar, a little vinegar, salt, pepper.
Failing to add the correct measure of seasoning is where it all went wrong last time.
Have you tasted it?
Not yet, sir.
When you're going to taste it?
And it's seasoning, sir.
Have a taste. But before we do anything, you need to taste it. What do you think?
A little salt,
It
pepper.
needs a bit of salt and pepper.
Yes, sir. A little bit of sugar and a little bit of vinegar.
Okay, can you show me? You do it then. Away we go.
Add too much seasoning and there's no way of taking it out.
Whoa! Stop.
Measure.
What is that?
That's
There's enough there to kill a pretty battalion, isn't there? Are you going to put pepper in there?
Yes, sir.
Right. Stop. Now, what happens, you see, stop. what has happened, see how the pepper is in lumps.
Yes, sir.
Very hard to get rid of them lumps. See it? Unless you break the pepper down. So, and what about sugar? How much are we putting in?
Not a lot, sir.
Not a lot. Okay, is that a measurement? It's a measurement. What, not a lot?
No, sir. This is about...
This is about?
No, this is...
This is 5 what? Gallons, rats, cats, mice?
It all depends on the quantity, sir.
It does? What? No, how much is in there?
In here?
Yeah. Go and weigh it.
Yeah.
Okay, how many was that?
100 grams, sir.
100 grams. Good. Now, so why I mix the salt and the pepper together, because that helps it dissolve. And if we're going to put sugar in as well, the way that I would do it is if you mix all this together, and then from here put it in so I can control how much I'm putting in. It'll all dissolve a lot better, won't it? Yeah. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, I totally agree, sir.
You totally agree. That's pretty good that you totally agree.
Good coaching. Good coaching.
Taste that and tell me what you think.
Fantastic, sir.
Excellent. That's the correct word.
Fantastic.
It's actually not too bad, is it? Good. Would you eat that?
Yes, sir. Go on.
Lance Corporal Nelson thinks his boss could have a future in the kitchen.
I think you can, come in the kitchen more often and more regular, like. I mean, you can learn a thing or two. He's got all the experience. What he's got in his head is like 100 times more than what we got, so it's just a learning process.
Cooking for 1,000 troops from scratch is a tall order. But out on operations where supply lines can be unpredictable, knowing how to cook from fresh ingredients is vital.
They are brilliant. Homemade sausage rolls. And you made them this morning. That's good quality, well done. I'm pleased with them. Yeah. Oh, these are the bought-in ones, aren't they? In here we've got, this is a bought-in sausage meat. Of course, there's only about 25% sausage meat. It's full of rusk. Here, nice sausage. You can see the colour. Put some onions in there. Very nice, well done. I'm pleased with that.
Mark Nottingham is one of Harry's London District warrant officers. Today, he's going back to the floor at Combermere Barracks in Windsor to work alongside the chefs at the Household Cavalry Regiment.
We're going to go back to basics. We're going to be cooking fresh, wholesome food from the start. None of your convenience products, stuff that they possibly, on occasions, have taken out of the freezer opposed to making them homemade. Right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, how are you? Right, the idea of today is I'm coming back to the floor. It's by no means to annihilate you, it's just to give me an idea of what you're doing on the shop floor. Right, why have you got your apron string like this? No. I want you dressed like me. I don't want any excuses.
Roger, sir.
Okay, so let's undo it and let's get dressed properly. Are you happy with that? You're not happy with that, are you?
No, I'm not, sir. Because after I've walked around the kitchen 5 times, it'll look like a bag of tripe.
So, if I can look like this, and I've been walking around like this 10 minutes, there's obviously something wrong with you, isn't there? Say no.
No, there's nothing wrong with me, sir.
Okay, just crack on.
Lance Sergeant Richard Stebbing is the kitchen manager and has just returned from his tour of duty feeding troops in Afghanistan.
They're just Alaska giant crab claws. All I've got in there is just salt, water, loads of parsley and loads of lemon. 12 minutes, they come out ready. I'll just brush some either garlic butter or chilli and garlic butter over the top of them. That's how them done.
Based at Fob Price in Helmand Province, he was one of the senior chefs in a team that won a reputation for the best food in operational theatre.
We get plenty of fresh veg and a wide range of frozen meats, so we can do whatever we want, really.
Back in his barracks cookhouse in Windsor, he's not so keen on Warrant Officer Mark Nottingham telling him what to do.
That's a nightmare, isn't it? It's my kitchen. Get out. It's all well and good having the ideas, but they haven't worked in this environment for 10 years, maybe? 8 years? So a lot's changed in 8 years on the shop floor. You know, one of the main things being the ability of some of the younger members of the department. And you can't throw too much at them because you just won't get an end product.
there are those who remain nameless who are a bit challenged by someone coming to the kitchen and taking over their job. And, you know, I don't blame them, to be honest. But pretty much what we're doing today is we're cooking everything fresh. Nothing's going to come out of a packet. And they'll learn from today, and hopefully they'll move on from this and take it forward themselves.
With a busy lunchtime service, the chefs have to prepare enough home-cooked scoff for 160 troops. On the menu are homemade beef burgers, meatballs, and freshly baked pastries. But today's special is a homemade chicken Cornish pasty.
This is going to be our filling for our pasties. We've got sliced potatoes, swedes, some nice red onion, a bit of parsley in there.
The next job is to wrap the filling in rough puff pastry.
Generous with the filling.
And crimp the edges.
And then pretty much I'll just bring it around, press down the edges, okay? I'll just cut off the slight excess there. I'll bring it around to show you. And all I do is I put a finger there and bring it around. One in and push it around. And I'll just keep doing that, holding the top to let the excess air out, and there's my pasty. I've gone into the freezer and taken out the pasties that they buy in. As you can see, it's completely different. The size, I mean, it looks manufactured, frozen, reproduced meats. And we're going to put these side by side on the hot plate. And then he's going to try and sell pasties to the customers that come along. And let's see which one they go for.
The average age of Army chef recruits is just 18. And for a generation more used to fast food than fresh food, a home-cooked menu is a bit of a challenge.
We don't normally do as many fresh. We only normally do 2 fresh a day. Because they're PT as well this morning. We just haven't really got much prep done.
T-minus 25 minutes to service. Any problems, anyone? That's right, chef. Tomato sauce, mayonnaise on the base, burger on top, and tomatoes on top of that. So we've got our own burger bun.
As service time approaches, it's all hands on deck to get the homemade dishes onto the hot plate.
Don't do no more than 40.
It's time to see whether Mark's fresh Cornish pasties are more popular than the processed frozen ones.
Why are you taking that pasty and not that one?
Bigger.
Is it bigger?
A little bit more homemade.
It's homemade.
A little bit more homemade.
So, yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much. You prefer homemade pasties rather than something that's been bought in then, obviously?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
More pasties!
More pasties?
The pastry tastes a lot better than the other ones. The ones that get stuck in your throat and that. It's horrible.
Just the flavour of it, I think, yeah, they are better when they're homemade. But then obviously they couldn't homemade everything here for us, would they?
The homemade burgers, meatballs and pasties might have won the squaddies vote, but Lance Sergeant Stebbing has doubts about making everything fresh every day.
I'd love to be able to do this every single day, I really would. But you can't, it's just totally impossible. You know, it's a good, you know, there's people having days off during the week, there's people away sick. You know, sometimes one person would be on the early shift because that's all the manning we've got. So it'd be absolutely ridiculous.
What I try to do today is to show you have the skills and you have the knowledge to actually take that step out of the box and produce something that is a top class product. Happy? Yeah. Cool, Stebbies? It's about investing your time, because that's what I'm paying you for, not just necessarily your working hours, but outside of the box and training these chefs. And if you can be prepared to invest your time, they will move on a lot faster.
Coming up, during Major Lomas's service...
It's burnt on the bottom, it's caught on the bottom. And we need to get this out.
The kitchen suffers its first casualty.
I'm slightly the old brown stew.